Hi, this is Jeremy, not general audience guy. As you can see, this is right after my Transformers review, because I have this stupid ass goatee. Anyway, I just finished watching Mud, and I really love this movie. It was very good. First off, I didn't really know much about the film going into it. All I knew was Matthew McConaughey was in it, and Matthew McConaughey is one of my favorite actors, so of course I want to see this. So I had been trying to find some way to watch it for the longest time, and I went on Netflix one day and it was on there, and I was like, yes. So I sat down and watched it. I think the director's name is Josh Nichols, I think. This film, it's one of those films that, like, everything works with it. You know, there's some problems, and I'll get into those, but for the most part, though, it's a really, everything works. Everything they're trying to do works. Really great child actors. Anytime you can have good child actors, you know a movie's good. Or at least somewhat good. I mean, child actors, like, I watched Brothers recently, and it had, like, Bailey Madison in it, and she was, when she wasn't weird, she was, like, aren't they adorable, and I just hate that shit. But the child actors in this came across as very real. They felt like actual kids. They felt like actual people their age. Their friendship felt very real. Their relationships with their families felt very real. The whole thing felt very real. There were some contrived elements to this. I mean, it's a kid finds a quirky, weird guy story. I mean, of course there's going to be some contrived elements to that. You'll see things like that. Like, a kid is having trouble with his parents, so he finds solace in an older guy who is quirky and kind of the mind of a child, It's that kind of story, but it's done incredibly well in this. The cinematography is fantastic. I love the look of this film. It looks very, very nice. The acting is great, too. I already went into talked about the child actors. I think one of them's name's Ty Sheridan. Shem Shepard was in it, and he was drastically better in this than he went in Brothers, where he was just, I'm cartoonishly dickish to you, Jake Gyllenhaal, but Tobey Maguire, you're such a perfect son. Oh, but Jake Gyllenhaal, you're such a fucking piece of fucking shit. But yeah, he came across more natural in this. The Mud character by McConaughey. First off, McConaughey's great in this. Not just the look, but his performance is great. You really get a sense of his character in this, and it's a very interesting character, and you're very intrigued in finding out where his story goes. And I'm not gonna lie, I want to see more of that character. I want to see a Mud 2. I mean, I want to see more of this dude. This guy was a very fun character. He was very complex. He was kind of, quirky and weird, but, you can tell there's lots of melancholy behind his quirkiness. You can sense this sadness in him. It's very, very good work. And we also have some great, smaller parts. Like, Michael Shannon is in it, and he's fucking great. Michael Shannon is one of those actors. I really love Michael Shannon. I'm so fucking pissed that the main movie everyone's gonna know him for is Man of fucking Steel. Oh man, but he's hilarious in this. He's really good. I don't know the child actors' names. I feel bad because they were really good, but I think one of them was Ty Sheridan. This is one of my favorite small casting things ever. Fucking Joe Don Baker shows up in this thing. Fucking Joe Don Baker. And you know what? He's really good. he's really good. Spoilers. His son gets killed by Mud. Mud kills Joe Don Baker's son because vague reasons. Like, I guess Joe Don Baker's son was mistreating Reese Witherspoon, which is the love of his life. So he went and killed him. So Joe Don Baker sets his son and a bunch of other guys out to go find Mud and kill him. And one part of the movie I didn't like, it felt out of place, was there was this shootout at the end, which I don't know, it just felt out of place. I mean, and it wasn't particularly exciting. It was just kind of, why is this happening? Well, I guess we need to find some way for Mud to go missing at the end, so everyone has to ask, well, did Mud make it or did he not? But yeah, I'll let it slide. It was a great movie other than that, but it did lead to a really great subtle piece of acting by Joe Don Baker, where he gets the phone call, and they tell him how the assassination attempt went, and you see it in his face when he realizes, wow, my lust for revenge over my son's death just led to my other son's death. And it's a really subtle piece of acting, but you can see it. And I think this film, the acting really, really pushed up this material, because this material has been done before, but the acting and the writing really, and the direction, because like I said, the film looked fucking fantastic. Really great music too. I really like the score. I thought the score added a lot of mood to the movie and added a lot of positive elements to it. And the soundtrack too. There was some great kind of country-ish, kind of folkish music in there. I really liked it. I really dug the soundtrack. It seemed like the big theme of the movie was love. I mean, it wasn't ambiguous. I cannot speak. People, you have to realize when I do these, most of the time I've been up for 24 fucking hours. But it's not like like, is this about this or is this about that? No, it's pretty obvious. I mean, there's this subplot about the main kid falling in love with this girl, while at the same time his parents are getting divorced, and at the same time the whole Mud situation revolves around him and Reese Witherspoon. So, there's lots of lines like his dad saying, don't ever fall in love with a woman, they'll break your heart or something like that. So it seems to be the big theme about the movie was love, but I kind of just, I don't know, I tended to focus more on the characters, and that's it. I tended to care about the characters more than the underlying themes, which is fine. I mean, whatever. I mean, the themes were fine, but they were they weren't that subtle, I guess. But, whatever. I mean, when you have a movie that has characters like this that are so real and likable and interesting, and you have a story that you're constantly thinking, where's it going next? It's an enjoyable film, and the themes, I guess they resolve themselves at the end. So you can, if you're looking for a deeper meaning, I guess there you go. I mean, but it's a film that definitely is worth a watch. If you're a McConaughey fan, definitely. It's one of his better performances. I would say it's up there with like Killer Joe or Dallas Buyers Club or Frailty or something like that. Or Texas Chainsaw New Generation. Say what you will about that movie, he's fucking amazing in that. I loved him in that movie. But yeah, Mud, I highly recommend it if you enjoy. And I guess it's a coming of age film. I would say it's a coming of age film with like kind of a crime element thrown in there. But it's really more about the characters and their interactions with each other, and they're very good characters and they're very well written. It's a film that I definitely will watch again. And I'm really glad McConaughey is doing shit like this and Killer Joe and Dallas Buyers Club and True Detective. Like, I've said this before, but seriously, man, like, keep it up. Like, no more fucking How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days or whatever the fuck else you were in. Like, I knew him as the romantic comedy guy for the longest time, and I did not give a shit about him. And then I saw, like, Reign of Fire, and I was like, okay, this is kind of fun. And now, like, it seems like everything he does is, like, awesome, 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 awesome. I'm not gonna do romantic comedies no more. I'm just gonna make great movies. But Matthew McConaughey, we need somebody who's incredibly talented to waste their talents. Alright. And people, like, whenever people talk about him, they would either do that or that's what I like about High School Girls, or fucking shirtless jokes. But he's really proven to be one of the best actors of his generation. You might not want to accept it, but it's fucking true. I'm the guy who did not give a fuck about him a couple years ago, but now I'm just like, what, McConaughey? So, hell, I might even watch Magic fucking Mike just because he was in it. Yeah. Why not? So, overall, Mud, good movie. Really good movie. And I highly recommend it. And plus, it's good to see Joe Don Baker doing something other than Congo or Mitchell or whatever. So yeah. Peace.